good morning walk of 2023. And to be honest, this might be a short one. Not only is it incredibly muddy, it also looks like it might be about to rain. I have been trying every so often, like I really wanted to do like a Christmas Eve walk, but I couldn't because the weather was absolutely awful. We've had a hurricane blow through, quite literally. Oh, nearly. So yeah, the weather has been less than stellar, as they say. Good morning, Cathology. Good morning to you. But as I've always said when we've been doing the good morning walk, we are at the mercy of the weather. David, good morning to you. We are at the mercy of the weather when we do these things, and of course, well, I'm not the only one at the mercy of the weather. I don't know if you can tell, but this pony is absolutely looking completely bedraggled. Paul, good morning to you. But yes, good morning to everyone joining us. Like I say, please do remember to click on the like and of course the share button. Pretty Bird, greetings and good morning to you. But yes, this might be a quite short good morning walk this morning because I don't know if you can tell, the clouds are looking pretty angry. So this might be a very quick good morning walk this morning. We'll have to see how it goes. Ben Riding, good morning to you. The Tories have almost dug through to the other side of the world with this week's Tory MP crap presents comment. Oh, it does not shock me. I mean, we were on, of course, Labour Social last night. Jez, good morning to you. One Angry Pagan, good morning to you. Like I say, we were on the Labour Social last night, and I think it was just after 10:30 the news dropped, of course, of Liz Truss's resignation honours list. And it's like, why would you allow this woman to do this? Do you not realise the amount of like pure nonsense? Do you not realise the amount of nonsense you are going to get? And oh, here come the cows. Oh. See, this is the worst thing about this walk. The cows are in this field because they just walk about everywhere. And then they get in your way and then they refuse to move. And they're going to end up coming up here, aren't they? Yep. Yep, they're on the way. Look at them here. Look at them. Sabine, good morning to you. But yes, the cows are on the way. But yes, this, like I say, this might be a very short good morning walk this morning, purely for the fact that, well, it looks like it is about to rain at any moment. About this. And of course, it looks like the cows are getting a bit ornery as well, which doesn't help. Oh. Helpful if they don't know where they're going to go. Tunnel chat today, that might quite be possible, to be honest. That's very true. It might end up being a bit of a tunnel chat, because honestly, like I say, the rain's about to probably come siling down at any moment. But I did want to try and get out and at least have a morning walk, and at least the weather was at least somewhat somewhat nice. Let's see. We can't get through, because this is the other thing. Like, I appreciate the farmers built a new gate and everything, but the way that he has built this gate is an absolute nightmare. Because you cannot get through it, and then it is in the muddiest spot ever. And then when you've got to get through, that's not flat. That's like you've got to go up this muddy thing. And it is incredibly... Oh, I'm sinking into the mud already. Can't stay still for too long. I tell you what, we'll go this way today. We'll go this way. We will try and go this way. See what this way is like today. Because this might be, oh, when we wade through this mud, might be the better option. There we go. So, yes, where were we? Yes, Labour Social last night. Yes, we were on the Paz News. Good morning to you. So we were on the Labour Social last night, and of course, we learned that Liz Truss's honours list, of course, had dropped. And of course, in very typical fashion, any news that, you know, they want to try and bury or at least keep off tomorrow's pages, they dropped it at, like I say, 10:30 at night, as late as they possibly could get away with it. Again, to try and keep it off the front pages. How successful, of course, they will be in that endeavour remains to be seen. But we can only hope that we are going to make some hay on this. But this is yet another example of where we can really go after sort of House of Lords reform. Because there was a lot of talk, of course, after Boris Johnson dropped his honours list. Everyone was like, oh my God, actually the House of Lords is really bad. Maybe we should do something about it. It's like, yes, we should do something about it. Oh. It's raining. So it's one of those things of, you know, House of Lords reform, been a long time coming, but both Boris Johnson and Liz Truss dropping their honours list is really a quite a good thing, because it makes people realise just how bad the House of Lords is. Oop, yeah. And we've talked more than enough on this channel many a time just how bad the House of Lords is, the stuff that goes on in there, and it just really needs to go, honestly. Really does. But definitely something we should look at and do. But yes, certainly one of those things that we need to look at is how can we stop and sort of reform this. And obviously it's going to be definitely a party thing, certainly something that's going to need to be put through both parties. And bear in mind, if you have a look at the polls, and we've talked about this before, if you have a look at the polls, this is actually quite popular in Conservative circles as well. So definitely something that is well worth doing. Oh, hang on. You'll have to excuse me, because I am trying to walk and stay up, because it's very muddy. So I do apologise if I miss your comments. Oh, hang on, let's get to at least a dry spot here. Yorkshire. What would you replace it with? Something else to hold Parliament to account. Yep, again, I've talked about this plenty of times. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I would replace it with, but I would definitely replace it with something. I've talked before about creating like a house of like regional representatives. So maybe you would split each area up into like, I don't know, like we've got, Yorkshire is sort of split up into like 4 different areas, and I think same for all the different counties. And I think if you did it by that throughout all the UK and basically said each area has like 5, then, and it was sort of elected by PR, I'd be sort of quite happy with that. I think that's what it would need to be. To make it a bit fair. Oh, hang on. Oh dear. I am sinking into the mud. There we go. Made it. Made it. Just. There we go. But yeah, Liz, like I say, her honours list is going to be yet another clear example, and I think it's going to start the conversation yet again of why we need to reform the House of Lords. It's going to be a good conversation to have. Craig, it'd be an ideal route to familiarise people with PR. Yep. Telling people they can vote for their favourite party, and of course a clean conscience if there's a huge change. Yeah, exactly. This is if you voted, if you were in South Yorkshire, and I gushed over this leaflet when the time to vote for the Simcoe, what we call it, the Sheffield City region. When that came around, every single person, every single household in South Yorkshire got this amazing booklet through that explained this is how you vote. So it was like, you put one tick if you want for the Yorkshire party. You know, if you want to vote for the Yorkshire party, you put your tick in for them. But you then get a second vote. So if they don't get enough votes in the first round, your vote is then not wasted. It then goes on to, someone else, and then they can vote on that. So it was honestly a very, very good booklet, really explaining what the system was, how you can vote for PR, and ultimately, again, what you could do when you were at the ballot box. So that was very good. That was very, very good. I will say that. And I think that's the type of thing that if you are going to familiarise people with, that's what you need. But I said this before, Labour for PR, a great campaign group that is pushing for PR. They are now also trying to sort of educate people on what PR is as well, and why that would be sort of helpful. It's a big thing that, all these movements do need to do. It's not just, campaign, protest, but you need to educate people as well. And Labour for PR have done some fantastic events and getting that through. And of course, I think we said, councils for PR. That's another group that they've sort of set up and are involved with as well, to get councils to vote for PR, saying, we want this through as well. I always do praise them because they are a really good campaign group, and doing what they've done. But it's also a classic example of it's taken over them 10 years to get to this point. Sometimes these fights in politics take a long time to do to really achieve something. So it's really important that you always keep up the momentum and keep pushing something forward, and you are going to have losses from time to time, and that includes you got to pick yourself back up and just get it done. Paul Fisher, yeah, the Yorkshire People's Front, the People's Front of Yorkshire, the People's Front. Yeah. Yeah, the Yorkshire Party are interesting. Yeah, the Yorkshire Party are interesting, shall we say the least. When it comes to election time, I'll see if they've got any candidates, and we'll go through their manifesto promises. Because some of the stuff I do agree with, but some of the other stuff is like, Oh, okay. Why do we want that exactly? I mean, they're a very big group that pushes for Yorkshire devolution. Interview them. Oh, I'd love to. I tried before, actually. I tried before to get their regional mayor candidate on, because he's really good. So he would have been fun to talk to, but unfortunately I couldn't get him at the time because, like I say, he was busy campaigning. Right, okay. This is it. I've never been this way fully properly before, so I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? So we're a bit on an adventure. But of course I am keeping an eye on the rain as well, so maybe. Oh. Excellent. Always good to know that your wellies are are waterproof. Always good to know that your wellies are waterproof. That's the point where you walk across the stream and you're like, oh dear, my socks are now wet. But no, they are fine today still. But yes, yeah, interesting bunch of people. They are very, very much for Yorkshire devolution. So the whole idea is that Yorkshire should have its own sort of, parliament. It should have its own devolved sort of regional centre. And again, I'm not too against that. That's not actually quite a bad idea. And there were plans afoot a couple of years ago, before we got sort of split into all these 4 regional mayoralties, to actually do that, to create this one Yorkshire plan. But unfortunately, it didn't work because, as usual, Leeds and Sheffield fell out, and it didn't happen. And honestly, anything in Yorkshire can pretty much be summed up by a Leeds Sheffield falling out. Yeah, which is a bit sad, honestly, sometimes, but that's how it goes, unfortunately. Yeah, could we get the great what should colour Yorkshire passports debate should be? Yeah. Of course, you remember a couple of years ago, or well, from a couple of elections ago, the Yorkshire Independence, the Northern Independence Party, something that people, campaigned for. Yes. And it is starting to rain now. So tell you what, we'll turn around and we'll walk back. So I do apologise if it's a bit shorter this morning. Colour should be grim. I can't tell if you can see, but unfortunately, like I say, it's reversed. My Yorkshire hat, my Yorkshire saying, bereat. It is backwards, unfortunately, because of the video, but got a new hat. Oh. Now this is it now. Can we beat the rain back? Can we beat it back? I don't know, but we might be able to. We'll see. I should say how much. There were those apparently. There was also a quote about the weather. I can't remember what it was now, but yeah. Maybe I have to go and track down the shop. Oh, it's only backwards for me. Oh, all right. Oh, I didn't realise. I'll have to go track down that Yorkshire shop then, and see if I can't get different hats with different Yorkshire phrases and sayings on. Yeah, but apparently I also riled up the the S&P people last night. Yeah, a bit of a pastime for me, to be honest. Annoying, S&P supporters, but as I said, we brought up Operation Branchforth. That's gonna kick off next year. But this is it. I think politicians should be held to a standard, and you can say, oh, but what it looks like has been going on in the S&P. Well, I would not be happy if that was going on in Labour either. Even if the Tories did it, I still wouldn't be happy with it either. So yeah, it's just yeah, exactly, Don. There are different types of PR, and that's what I think. In fact, this is what Labour for PR have brought up, that now people are talking about PR more. There needs to be, or at least we need now to come to some sort of consensus on what type of PR we want, because not many people wanted the AV, the alternative vote, if you remember that referendum. And that turned a lot of PR supporters off because they felt it wasn't a big enough change that they wanted. So that's why a lot of people, didn't really go and vote in that referendum. So it is something that they are looking at. How can we tell people about the different types of PR? Because I'm a big believer in STV, which is single transferable vote. And of course, you vote in favour of who you want, and then sort of your vote goes to whoever makes the grade. So there might be 2 or 3 rounds, depending on, again, how long it lasts. And then this goes, boop, 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 boop. If the person you put your tick in the first box doesn't get enough, then of course your second choice would come into that point. So that would leave a lot of people then open up to being able to vote for third parties. So if you really wanted to vote for the Green Party as your first choice, then you could do, but you could also then be safe in the knowledge that at least your second vote, if they didn't get enough votes in the first round, would then go to the Labour Party. And then of course at that point you're not splitting the vote. So I do feel that STV would be, I think, the preferable way for people to vote. And I think the way that most people would want to vote, I think that to me is the preferable option. It does. Yes, it does remove tactical voting to some extent, but it does create an area where you will probably see, at that point, you will probably see, third parties actually stand somewhat of a chance then. People don't realise it, but in a couple of years ago, there was a political party that rose called Vapes in Power. And this was a single action campaign group by 2 people who wanted to run basically on getting rights for vapors. Needless to say, they didn't achieve quite a lot, but they were there. Good job, lads, for showing up, I suppose. The press needs stronger regulations. I agree with you there. This is something that Starmer should look at. Leveson too. and implement the recommendations for Leveson 2. It is definitely something that does need to be done and had a look at, especially in the wake of the whole Harry success, because he is going after the Daily Mail next. And a lot of people, I kid you not, a lot of people are watching that case with interest, because there's a lot of people thinking that if Harry wins there, then now their case has more merit to it, and that they can now go after the Daily Mail. So that is going to be something that I'm going to be watching with interest next year. If you want to keep an eye on something next year, keep an eye on that. How does Harry do in his case against the Daily Mail? And like I say, that's set to kick off. I'm not exactly sure, but it's, I think, early next year at some point. So we'll see. But something definitely to keep your eye on, because that will have big consequences if he wins, because all of a sudden a lot more people are going to go after the Daily Mail. The other thing I want to talk about is the whole Trump being deselected in Maine. So that's 2 places he's now been deselected based on the 14th Amendment. And honestly, people, don't get hyped about this. Yes, I agree. It is absolutely hilarious. I agree with that. But if you look at what a lot of lawyers are saying in this, when they come to sort of looking at this constitutionally, it generally looks like he's not going to, that it's not going to stick. So while, yes, I agree, hilarious, funny that he's been deselected in these cases and areas, but it's not going to stick. And a lot of people, I think, are quite hyping this up, thinking that this is going to get Trump. So I'm just trying to sort of, manage your expectations. Because it's not going to be the thing that I think people expect it will be. So, don't get too hyped about that. Because it really is not, from what I've been seeing, a lot of lawyers and, US constitutional experts talk about it. It's not the thing that's eventually going to get him, because of course the 14th Amendment applies strictly to people who have been charged with treason or sedition, and of course that has never happened to Trump. So even though they are trying to get him on the 14th Amendment, the chances of this sticking are quite slim. So I know there's a lot of people really hyping this up and hoping that this will be the end of Trump. But honestly, don't buy into the hype. Don't get too excited. Don't get too invested in it, because you might be quite disappointed come the 4th of January. So that's when the Supreme Court is going to be ruling on that. Now, Paz News, Paz News, compulsory voting. I don't know about compulsory voting. I have gone back and forth. I have honestly gone back and forth over the idea of compulsory voting. I really cannot make my mind up whether it would be a good idea or not. And I think if you do compulsory voting, then I think other things have to go with it. So rather than just a single day of voting, I think our traditional voting day should be moved from Thursday to Friday, and that Friday becomes a bank holiday, like automatically. If it's a voting day, bank holiday, everyone can get out and vote, and voting doesn't just run over Friday, runs over the Saturday as well. So you've got 2 days to get out there and vote. And I feel like that if you were giving people that chance, if you're giving them a bank holiday, if you're giving them, you know, all that time to go out and vote, maybe at that point, that's where you can bring in compulsory voting. But voting on a single day, yeah, still feels a bit of a, you know, that's why I've gone. I said that's why I've gone back and forth in the idea constantly. But yes, so we'll see what happens. Like I say, I do apologise for it being a bit short, but I don't know how much you can tell on the camera, but it's coming down quite heavily at the moment. So we shall adjourn for today, as I wish you a very happy new year. I wish you a very happy new year. And like I say, we'll see you all next year for more good morning walks and japes and fun and more ponies and outdoor adventures, of course, weather permitting. So, like I say, happy new year to you all. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic time out there. As always, be safe, be sensible, and of course we'll see you all next year for more good morning walks. And please do remember to click on the like and share button on your way out, and until then, we'll see you all next year.